Hey, my pretties. It's the Queen of Lions here. Today, I'm gonna be doing kind of like a little discussion video. It's nothing major or anything like that. There's no problems or anything. But some of you guys have been asking me this question. Not that anyone's asked me about this recently, but some of you guys have been, wondering about why I started narrating stories like creepypastas, funny pastas, fan fictions, and etc. Well, I know I kind of did somewhat of a video on it, I believe. I don't remember. But even if I did, I'm basically sitting there and, kind of remaking it. Not really remaking it per se, but kind of sitting there and, explaining my reasons on why I actually started sitting there and narrating creepypastas, fan fictions, and other stuff. So most of you guys probably have been on my channel since 2020, 2029, and this year. I want to thank you so much for the support you guys have been giving me throughout last year, this year. So I want to thank you so much yet again for that. So, yeah, I guess I kind of want to sit there and, kind of explain, exactly what's going on and all that. And, yeah, explain my reasons on why I started narrating creepypastas and all that. Because, yeah, some of you guys are wondering about how I started getting into creepypasta narrations, why I started doing them, and etc. So, yeah, I'm gonna explain to this the best I can. I'm not gonna really guarantee too much, but I am gonna calmly explain this that it's just how, I'm doing what I do. This is basically my what was it? Oh yeah. This is basically me sitting there and explaining, what is actually the reason why I started narrating creepypastas. I think I might have done this, so I'm just trying to look at it right now. Well, maybe I did a video based on this something else. I don't know. Okay. Um the main reason why I started getting into creepypastas, let's go back to the year 2012. Now, in 2012, I didn't really know what I was going to do with this channel. Like, this channel was called something else back then. I'm not going to say what it was because it's kind of like an way older name. But I started going on YouTube and commenting on videos at the time. I was making random content because I didn't know what I wanted to really make. So I was basically playing around with, whatever content people posting the content that they were doing, like just doing, recording my own videos and that. Because that's basically what I was doing because other people were doing it too. So basically, I was sitting there figuring out why I actually wanted to do thing like with videos and etc. So I was just posting random content because other people were doing it. So as I was, posting random content, trying to test things out, figure out which one I like best and all that, I started to realize that I could try something that other people have done, or at least try something that and see if I like it, and if I don't like it, I can do different type of content. So, I then we can fast forward to 2017. In 2017, I started watching this YouTuber called Andal. Now, most of you guys know who Andal is. He's the guy who narrated creepypastas back then. And when I met him on his channel, he started narrating creepypastas. I mean, like, when he started narrating creepypastas, I started to watch his narrations. Now, at the time, though, I started watching his content because, he was a pretty cool dude. I actually chatted with him like a couple times. I haven't chatted with him in like a long time because I've been so busy and all that. So there's definitely that. But for whatever it is, I actually somewhat started to enjoy it. So when that was becoming, the case, I ended up deciding, you know what, I'm gonna do something with creepypastas. But at the time when I was watching Andal's narrations on creepypastas, I wasn't really that interested in, well, on reading creepypastas, like make them in videos and then reading them. Like, I wasn't really, a fan of it at the time. So, yeah, there's definitely that. I wasn't really a fan of, reading creepypastas, and put them in videos at the time because I didn't really know if I was going to be good at them. I don't know if anyone was going to like the idea or anything like that. So that was why I didn't really do that so much. But I started watching Andal's channel because back at the time he started narrating creepypastas, and I thought maybe I should experiment with that to see how it goes. So I started doing that, watching his narrations, and it seemed to be pretty good, and all of it seemed to go, very swell. I know I said swell, kind of like how, what was it? Oh yeah, kind of like how, Drew Pickles say it, bag that was swell. Then I started to realize that I could do a lot more in this. So I started watching other creepypasta narrators such as Mr. Creepypasta, Creepypasta, and many other creepypasta narrators. I started watching, more of their content. And as I was watching more of their content, I started liking what they were doing. Like, I started getting into creepypastas more. Then in 2017, sometime, I think it was mid 2017, I started watching this user known as the Shadow Reader. Now, most of you guys know who he is. He is a creepypasta narrator as well, in case if you guys are all wondering. So I started watching the Shadow Reader, and he's a pretty chill dude. He's a very easygoing guy. Although for people are wondering if why does he rant sometimes, and even on his older videos, well, he just basically gives the story criticism, and same with the offer too. Now, basically just to point out some issues of what's wrong with a certain story and all that. Now, Shadow Reader didn't start reading stories till sometime I think earlier before he started his channel, his older one. I started watching Shadow's old channel too, but I wasn't really interested in reading creepypastas until sometime in 2018. Sometime around there when I was finishing up high school. I did make a few creepypastas when I was watching Andal at the time. One of them was a Pokemon one of them was a Kim Possible one, and the Wizard of Oz 1936 one. All those three were garbage because I added cliches. My grammar was crap, and they were not good. The stories were shit. So that was kind of why I sat there and made the stories because I was liking Andal at the time, and I thought adding cliches is how you make a story. But I then end up realizing that from Shadow's reviews, because in 2018 on his old channel, he started reviewing, stories, explained, flaws of what's wrong with the story, what could the story have done to improve, and etc. I started, to realize that, about the plot holes of certain, creepypastas. So I ended up deciding to sit there and, become a better writer by, not adding cliches very much. However, if there is a cliche that I am going to add in a story and it's unavoidable, I would have to make it something where it'll be believable in a sense, but to make sure it works in a believable sense. Not sit there and slap it on like slap, you're done. Not like that. So, yeah, that's why I started trying to, experiment with certain things. Eventually, though, sometime down the road, in 2019, I started narrating creepypastas and all that. I started narrating them a bit in 2018, but I was kind of shy to, put them like in a video editing site. But in 2019, I found OpenShot Video Editor. I started using that for my videos, and they work perfectly well. Although sometimes it could be a pain in the ass to work with, it's still really good once you, get the hang of that. So, yeah. And when I started becoming a creepypasta narrator, I started reading fan fictions as well because maybe not a lot of people might be into creepypastas, but into fan fictions as well. So I try, read different types of stories, like whatever be funny pastas, troll pastas, creepy pastas, fan fictions, and etc. I just try to experiment with, whatever story genre people like, because my content's basically a variety of different types of stories. Now I know I kind of spice things up a little bit with my channel by putting different stories and all that, or different genres of videos, but I still really do them because I want to try to get more people to understand my whole backstory of how I started narrating creepypastas. Now, I'm still going to be narrating creepypastas today. I'm still going to be narrating them. Not really sure how long they will be, but not sure how long I'll keep narrating these. Probably for another 10 years, let's just say, or something. But who really knows? Anyways, another thing I would really have to sit here and say when it comes to narrating stories is because other people do them too. There's tons of narrators out there that narrate creepypastas, fan fictions, funny pastas, and etc. I can name a couple, Space Voyager 1701. I know CJ Lee Boy 64, my boyfriend, is still looking into narrating stories. Bailey Maloney is doing that. She used to have a series called Sonic and Friends Read series. The Shadow Reader reads stories. BC Network did at one point, but he doesn't have those stories up on his channel right now. I think maybe because they weren't that great. I remember one point BC Network had a few stories of it posted, like a few creepypasta narrations, but he didn't really like them at the time or something. I don't know, something happened, so he took them down. But other narrators do these creepypastas too. So there's definitely that. It's pretty good in a sense that, creepypastas are, nowadays good. Well, not all of creepypastas are good nowadays. Some of them are garbage because people are putting cliches. But the classic old school creepypastas are, most of them I'd rather narrate. But although if they're mine or anyone's you guys wrote, then yeah, that's perfectly fine too. But yeah, I just thought I would go ahead, explain my reasons on why I became a narrator for stories and all that. But yeah, just to give it a little backstory of how I became a narrator and started narrating stories, because I know some of you guys were curious as to why I started narrating stories to begin with. I know some people might get inspired by me, Shadow Reader, Space Voyager, or anyone else someday. Who knows? There'll probably be other people out there that will look up to my channel, Shadows and Space Voyagers, and then everybody else that does creepypasta stories in general. They'll definitely see that, they could do other things. Experiment with how you want to do your channel with narration stories. Find out, what's your talent on, when it comes to stories, like reading to them or writing them, both, or anything like that. You could basically do whatever you like when it comes to narrations of creepypastas, or any kind of stories for that matter. Because, the best thing that you could do is just experiment, play around with how you want to do, and see what fits you the most, and see what you are most comfortable with. And who knows, you could end up being famous someday. Like me, because I'm almost 200k subs. I'm almost at 2k subs. I don't know why I said 200k. I really wish I had that much. If I get to 2k subs very soon, I will probably do a very special post. Maybe a Linus Bunch Adventure special. But yeah, I just thought I would kind of clarify on why I started narrating stories, why I started becoming a creepypasta narrator, fanfiction narrator, and etc. But there, that is this is the video for the reason. Now, I really have to say, I still like this channel of how it's going up. Although it could be improved, I could definitely say that, but with that being the case, that being said, I'm just gonna see what I want to do. And yeah, and to people who are not really a fan of my channel or don't like what I have there, that's understandable because not everybody's a fan of my stories. Not people are a fan of my videos, my content, or anything like that. But that's understandable because everyone has their own opinions. Just just to say that now. Now I'm gonna say this right now. Opinion bashing will not be tolerated in this channel. Opinions, yes, you can have your own opinion. That's totally fine, as I'm okay with opinions. But anyways, yeah, I just thought I would clarify the reasons why I became a creepypasta narrator, or in this case, a narrator in general. But anyways, what did you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Do you like the story that I told about how I became a narrator? Did you guys not? Also, what we have done personally to help make the story better. Well, not story better, but what are your thoughts on, my whole basically the whole concept of the story of how I became a narrator? Feel free to leave me feedback or what your thoughts on, the concept of how I became a narrator story. Well, my backstory about it. Feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Well, that's not episode, but thanks so much for the upload. If you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video and roll the outro because I'm out.